Before you even think about metal detectors or digging pans, stop. Because if you know what signs to look for, you might not need tools at all. The earth itself, bare, exposed, can whisper clues to you. Clues that lead to one of nature's most elusive treasures, gold. And believe it or not, some of the richest gold finds in history were uncovered by sharp eyes and empty hands. In this journey, you'll learn how to follow those whispers, the terrain, the stones, the water flow, even the way dust gathers around your feet. Everything tells a story about what's buried just beneath, and if you listen closely, that story may lead you to gold. Welcome to the most underrated, yet most powerful skill in prospecting, finding gold with nothing but your wits, your instincts, and your eyes. Gold is heavy, so heavy that nature herself has a hard time moving it. That means, wherever water slows down, gold likes to settle. Start with bends and streams. When water curves, it slows along the inner edge. That's where particles drop, and gold is often one of them. Walk those bends, trace the curve. Look for places where sediment builds up, dark patches of black sand, or exposed gravel bars. These are your first silent markers. Now look upstream. Is the water fast? Then there's potential. But if it's sluggish and flat across its whole stretch, it likely carried the gold farther downstream. Focus where energy shifts. Waterfalls, sudden drops, rapids that end in calm pools. That's where gravity takes over and buries treasure. You don't need a magnet. You just need your eyes. Black sand is magnetic and heavy, and gold loves hiding with it. If you spot dense, dark patches on the inside bends of rivers, creek beds, or dry river terraces, you're standing near gold's best friend. But here's the secret. Black sand doesn't always mean gold. It's the concentration that matters. Is it streaked across the gravel in thick layers? Are there little pockets where it's pooled? When you find concentrated black sand on a slowing water path, you may be standing over a pay streak. Watch also for its color. True heavy black sand isn't just dark. It has a dull metallic sheen, a mixture of magnetite, hematite, and sometimes tiny specks of gold clinging for company. Now look at the rocks, particularly those deeply embedded in the stream bed or dry channels. Gold has a habit of lodging behind rocks and in cracks, thanks to its density. Find an exposed rock with a downstream groove or depression behind it. That's a natural gold trap. In flood seasons, water rushes around these rocks and dumps heavier materials into that void, and gold is often the first to fall. Even on dry land, rock formations that seem oddly placed or deeply embedded in ancient stream beds might be former catch points. Squat beside them. Look for layers of gravel or tightly packed sands with rusty red hues. If it's compact and hard-packed, you're near an old river channel. That's gold's favorite hiding spot. Gold rarely travels alone. It loves to ride with iron. So if you see reddish or orange-stained soil, you found oxidized iron. And where there's iron, there's often gold nearby. Scan hillsides, slopes, or even dry riverbeds where the soil is deeply colored. Look for quartz veins running through those zones, or gossan, crumbly, rusty rock. These aren't just interesting formations. They're geological sirens, screaming for attention. Sometimes even exposed roots that carve into clay-rich dirt will reveal layers of iron-stained sediment. Get low. Smell the earth. That metallic scent means mineral activity, and that means potential gold. Quartz is one of gold's oldest companions, not because it always contains gold, but because it often once did. Look for loose chunks of milky or glassy quartz on the surface. Better yet, find quartz that's been fractured and stained with rusty orange or black manganese spots. If it's lying in or near a dry creek channel, you might be tracing an eroded quartz vein, and gold may have broken free long ago, resting somewhere below. Walk slowly. Observe every piece of quartz that feels out of place. If it's sharp-edged and hasn't traveled far, you're closer to the source. Gold isn't far behind. One of the most powerful tricks is knowing where rivers used to be. Dry gulches, gravel-covered hillsides, or terraces that sit well above today's waterline could have once been gold-rich stream channels. Walk along those ancient terraces, scan for rounded river rocks high up in the soil. If you find them embedded in dry hillsides or flat gravel bars far from the river, congratulations. You're walking in a ghost river. These abandoned channels are often untouched by modern prospectors, yet they've held their secrets for millions of years. And if you follow the signs right, you could be the first to uncover them with just your eyes. Rivers write history in layers. While most people focus on fast-moving water, the real gold often collects in the quietest corners. Places where water slows, where eddies form. Along inside bends, behind large boulders, or at the base of waterfalls, these are natural sluices, catching heavy minerals as water energy dissipates. You don't need a pan or a dredge. Just follow the lazy curves of the stream and look for rust-colored stains on rocks, a sign of iron, often found near gold. Tiny glittery flakes trapped in moss roots or layers of black sand under the surface, an unmistakable indicator. Pause there, crouch low, and observe. Nature whispers to those who watch with patience. Fallen trees. Gold's secret catchers. When a tree collapses across a creek bed, its roots grip the soil, and over decades they become natural gold traps. Gold, heavier than most materials, slips through cracks and lodges deep in the roots or bark crevices. Many seasoned prospectors spend days inspecting fallen logs. No metal detector, no tools. Just a sharp eye, gloves for protection, and trust in nature's design. Want to know the craziest part? Some of the biggest gold finds in North America were caught in rotting tree roots, mistaken at first for dull yellow clay. If you're walking along a stream and notice the afternoon sun glinting just right, turn your attention to the shadowed zones. Why? Because gold doesn't scatter randomly. It accumulates quietly beneath overhangs, ledges, or where large rocks shield soil from erosion. These are nature's vaults. Dig lightly with your hands. Sift the top inch of soil with your fingers. If you feel gritty texture or heavy particles that don't match the surrounding dirt, you might be holding gold-bearing dirt without even knowing it. Where bedrock is exposed, especially in dry stream beds, it creates tiny grooves and fractures. When water flows over it during floods, gold gets dragged into these crevices and lodges permanently. You don't need to dig deep. Just kneel down and use a stick or even a pine needle to trace the tiny fissures. If you see dark sand, red clays, or silvery flakes shimmering inside, pause. You're already where the gold settled. Some of the richest deposits ever found were just 3 inches deep in such cracks, discovered not by tools but by trained observation. Here's a gold secret buried in science. Many gold deposits form from hydrothermal activity, often around old volcanic zones. When you see oxidized rocks, those bright orange, red, or even greenish stones, it's not just rust. It could signal sulfide minerals, which often accompany gold. You don't need chemistry kits. Just know this. If the rocks look like they've been scorched or bled minerals, stay close. Follow the vein upward or downward. It could lead to a natural outcrop where gold emerged from deep inside the earth. When a river dries up, it doesn't stop holding secrets. These dry beds, often forgotten, are time capsules. Gold that once flowed with the current now sits trapped beneath a few inches of soil. The trick? Walk in a zigzag pattern down the former stream course. Focus on old meanders, gravel bars, or any sign of past water flow. Press into the sand. If it's denser than expected or crunches underfoot, stop and sift. Without even a shovel, you might uncover flakes with nothing but your fingers and a water bottle for washing. Here's the advanced secret. If you're near a mountain or hill, you're standing near gold's origin. Erosion brings gold downhill over time. Focus on the base of steep slopes where two hills meet, natural catch zones, or where rocks show fractures and shearing, those jagged edges formed by tectonic pressure. These sites are rich in quartz stringers, and often visible gold can be spotted in cracks or alongside pyrite. Yes, you read that right. Visible gold, often the size of breadcrumbs, caught in narrow fractures. And all it takes to find it is knowing where the mountain whispers. Finally, remember this. Color is your compass. Not just the sparkle of gold itself, but the surrounding terrain. If the soil transitions from gray to red, from yellow to black, you're crossing geologic boundaries, and gold loves boundaries. Always ask, why is this patch of soil different? Why are these rocks darker or this sand magnetic? The answer might be, because gold passed through here. So next time you walk barefoot by a stream or trace a dry gully with nothing but sunlight and silence, remember, tools don't find gold, awareness does. And the earth is always ready to reveal its treasures, but only to those who learn how to listen. They look worthless, dusty, dull, and lifeless. But if you walked past these stones today, you might have stepped over a fortune that could change your life forever. Because hidden inside these worthless rocks lies gold, gemstones, and stories older than civilization itself. And tonight, we're uncovering them, one stone at a time. In the wild, nature disguises its treasures with remarkable precision. The dullest stones, those that most people kick aside, often hold the greatest secrets. Not every rich deposit glitters at first glance. Sometimes gold hides behind iron stains. Sometimes emeralds are trapped within rocks that look like simple mud. And sometimes fortune lies buried inside what we call worthless. To the trained eye, however, every rock has a story. Its color, weight, and texture whisper clues. And if you listen closely, the earth begins to speak. In dry riverbeds and old hillsides, there's a stone often mistaken for rusty debris. Iron oxide stained quartzite. Most people ignore it, but beneath that rusty skin, microscopic gold particles often cling to the quartz veins. Imagine picking up a dirty brownish rock, not realizing that inside, fine flakes of gold have fused between the grains. When crushed and panned, these stones reveal golden sparkles like fire caught in dust. This is how countless amateur prospectors made their first discovery. Not from nuggets shining in sunlight, but from worthless rocks that no one else cared to touch. Nature is an artist of concealment. Gold and gemstones form under immense heat and pressure, conditions that don't produce shiny surfaces, but fractured, coated minerals. Over time, weather, oxidation, and sediments disguise them further. Volcanic eruptions spew molten rock, trapping crystals within. Groundwater seeps through cracks, depositing minerals that look ordinary from outside. So the very process that creates wealth is the same one that hides it. That's why prospectors say, if it looks too perfect, it's probably not real. The first secret to uncovering hidden wealth is perception. The prospector's eyes are trained not for beauty, but for anomalies. A patch of red soil where others see plain earth. A line of black sand along a river bend. A heavy stone that feels wrong for its size. These are natural markers, silent signals of mineral presence. When you walk through a riverbed, the first question shouldn't be, what's pretty here? It should be, what's not supposed to be here? Because gold rarely appears in isolation. It's escorted by signs: quartz veins, magnetite, iron oxides, sulfur smell, or unusual density. Every ugly rock around gold is there for a reason. Prospecting begins not with mining equipment, but with curiosity. Carry a simple bag and pick up stones that feel unusually heavy or different. Look for textures that show mineral intrusion, shiny specks, linear veins, or unnatural patterns. Even a rock that appears gray from afar may hold visible hints of color when wet. So whenever you are exploring, dip your rocks in water. Water enhances patterns, bringing hidden veins or metallic flashes to life. Gold-bearing stones often feel dense and gritty. And when broken, they reveal tiny flakes that reflect sunlight sharply. Don't rush. Observation is your most powerful tool. The pattern is clear. Ignorance hides fortune. Observation creates wealth. Let's go deeper. When hydrothermal fluids, hot water mixed with dissolved minerals, move through cracks, they deposit quartz, pyrite, and sometimes gold. These fillings harden, forming veins inside otherwise dull host rocks. Over millions of years, erosion exposes parts of these veins, but most remain hidden. That's why old, oxidized, ugly rocks matter. They're records of mineral migration. Their rust-colored coatings are clues that hot fluids once passed through. Follow those stains and you follow the trail of gold. Some of the most valuable gemstones appear rock-like until processed. Opal, for instance, forms in ironstone and sandstone. Its play of color completely invisible until cut. Zircon crystals hide in metamorphic rubble. Even diamond indicator minerals like garnet and ilmenite often blend into the dirt unnoticed. The irony is powerful. The more ordinary a stone looks, the more likely it is to be ignored. And that's exactly where opportunity lies. The Earth isn't the only one hiding value. Humans do it too. We overlook the simple, chase the flashy, and miss the subtle. That's why nature's treasures often go unnoticed for centuries. Every great discovery in history began with someone curious enough to question the ordinary. So when you walk through rocky soil or a stream bed, remember, what everyone else sees as worthless may just need a second look. Look for contrasts, where color, texture, or weight changes abruptly. Study how plants grow. Vegetation often changes over mineralized soil. Notice areas where water collects or disappears. Those are zones of mineral concentration. Gold especially loves the company of quartz, ironstone, and magnetite. When rocks are exposed to flame, their hidden structures change color. Soft minerals darken, while metallic ones glow faintly. Quartz veins expand, exposing trapped gold flakes. Even gemstones react. Garnets may deepen in red, tourmaline's colors intensify, and pyrite crumbles. The fire doesn't just heat the rock, it reveals the soul within. But here's the golden rule. Use low, controlled heat. Too much fire can destroy fragile crystals or cause real gold to fuse with impurities. Old world prospectors in Africa and Australia used simple wood fires to soften stone samples before breaking them. They then quench the hot rock in water, a sudden thermal shock that fractures it naturally, making it ready for crushing. After heating, the stones are plunged into water. This isn't just to cool them, it's to create expansion fractures. The shock makes quartz and basalt crack along natural lines, freeing the trapped minerals inside. You'll often hear a sharp hiss. That's the rock splitting open. When lifted from water, these rocks reveal veins previously invisible. Tiny golden lines shimmer under sunlight, and in some, small crystals gleam like frozen lightning. It's a moment that has stunned countless prospectors when the earth literally breaks open to reveal its treasure. Once softened and fractured, the next step is manual extraction. No chemicals, no toxins, just pure physical separation. Crush the rocks gently using a hammer or flat stone until the grains loosen. Then wash the crushed material in a pan or bowl with clean water. Because gold is heavier, it settles at the bottom, while lighter materials drift away. You'll notice yellow flakes or even small rounded nuggets glistening beneath the silt. The sound of the pan swirling, the sunlight catching flecks of gold. This is the moment every prospector dreams of. Every stage, collecting, heating, cooling, and washing, mirrors the patience of nature itself. Gold didn't form in minutes, and neither will your discovery. But when it finally reveals itself, you realize something profound. It was never just about finding gold. It's about learning how the earth hides and reveals value, how the worthless becomes priceless once understood. The pattern is clear. Ignorance hides fortune. Observation creates wealth. Let's go deeper. When hydrothermal fluids, hot water mixed with dissolved minerals, move through cracks, they deposit quartz, pyrite, and sometimes gold. These fillings harden, forming veins inside otherwise dull host rocks. Over millions of years, erosion exposes parts of these veins, but most remain hidden. That's why old, oxidized, ugly rocks matter. They're records of mineral migration. Their rust-colored coatings are clues that hot fluids once passed through. Follow those stains and you follow the trail of gold. Some of the most valuable gemstones appear rock-like until processed. Opal, for instance, forms in ironstone and sandstone. Its play of color completely invisible until cut. The more ordinary a stone looks, the more likely it is to be ignored. And that's exactly where opportunity lies. Nature rewards those who respect her timing. So next time you see a rough, unattractive stone, stop, pick it up, study it. Because the universe has a strange sense of humor. It hides fortune inside what seems worthless, waiting for someone patient enough to see. And maybe, just maybe, that person is you. Nature never lies. It only hides. And if you learn to listen, you'll find that every rock, every ripple, and every trail tells a story of hidden gold.